Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Blue Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host Hefty Duck. And as always, we always invite people to come on the show. Whether if they do or don't, there's always next time. But anyways, a lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world to talk about. The Blue Jackets have played 4 games since our last show, and the Blue Jackets took 2 out of 4, which is better than last week because we got no wins to talk about last week. So at least we got some wins to talk about this week, which is good, but it's still not good. Would have liked to seen 4 out of 4, but that's okay. That's okay. There's still some good moments in all those games, and we're going to talk about it. The Blue Jackets continue the tradition of getting another Michigan guy. What else is new? We'll talk about that and a lot and so much more. We got a lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world to talk about. So welcome to the show, everyone.
What up, everyone? How's it going? I'm just getting out my last post here before I launch into all my spiel. Speaking of posts, though, check us out on Twitter. That's most likely where you're watching us from. It's 98% of our viewership. But check us out on YouTube as well. We're just at Brew Jackets. I don't know if there's an at on YouTube, but we're just the Brew Jackets podcast, I think, on there. Check it out. Check us out on YouTube. Thanks for being here, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe wherever you're. I already kind of went through that. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all of that good shit. Shoot.
So, but before we get going, remember, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And, of course, always gotta share this. Don't forget to check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I run, and we do a lot of fun stuff like marches to cheer on the Blue Jackets that have been featured on TV and at Blue Jackets games and in the Columbus Dispatch and so much more. So check out Union Blue Soldiers. So, first things first, the Blue Jackets, as is tradition, got another Michigan guy. What else is new? The Blue Jackets get another Michigan guy. There are certain things in life that just are guaranteed where it makes sense, and you're like, yep, I get it. And the Blue Jackets getting another Michigan guy is just one of those things, because if you look at the Blue Jackets' history, they like getting Michigan guys, such as Sean Hunwick, Tyler Mott, to Jack Johnson, Nick Blankenberg, Gavin Brindley, Kent Johnson, Adam Fantilli, Jack Johnson, Zach Werenski. The Blue Jackets like Michigan guys. And now we get to add a new name to that list of people, of Michigan guys that will eventually play for the Blue Jackets. So I'm going to put this up on the screen. So the Blue Jackets welcome the latest Michigan guy to join them. They have signed Josh Ernest to a 1-year deal, and the 1-year deal starts next season. For right now, he's going to go up to Cleveland and go play some games with the Monsters. That's what the Blue Jackets did with Zach Werenski. He played at Michigan for 2 years. He played some games for the Monsters, and then he joined the Blue Jackets.
Now, is he playing the Calder Cup playoff?
Yeah, Zach Werenski did play in the Calder Cup playoffs, so
Is Josh eligible for that?
I'm going to assume the answer is yes.
Right on. I just wasn't sure. I remember there being some sort of NHL rule about how you have to be qualified or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just going to – he may or may not, but I'm going to assume that the answer is yes because the Blue Jackets did that with Zach Werenski, where Zach Werenski played 2 seasons at Michigan, and then he played for the Monsters, and then the following year he played for the Blue Jackets. So if I had to take a guess, that's probably what's going to happen for Josh Ernest, if I had to take a guess. What kind of guy is Josh Ernest? I'll tell you. The Blue Jackets had a little article this past Saturday. So we'll put this up on the screen. So there he is right here. Blue Jackets signed Josh Ernest to a 1-year entry-level contract for 2026-2027 season. The 24-year-old forward spent the past 3 years at the University of Michigan, posting a 11-8-19 line in 38 games this season. So in 38 games this season, he had 11 goals, 8 assists for 19 points. I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you want to read it, you can go to the Blue Jackets website. But the stuff that I am going to share is that he's 24. He's played 3 seasons at Michigan, where in his career he has 20 goals, 24 assists for 44 points. He's got 116 penalty minutes. He's a plus 12 in 115 games. Like I said earlier, he's got 11 goals, 8 assists for 19 points this season. Was a plus 17, so he's real good defensively. He helped Michigan win the Big Ten tournament title, and Michigan was just in the Frozen Four again, which is what else is new? Michigan in the Frozen Four. They've done that 4 of the last 5 seasons. So that's cool. Let's see here. This is what Don Waddell had to say. As we looked at a number of college free agents, we identified those who could fill an organizational need, and Josh does just that, says Waddell. He is a big, strong right winger who skates well and has a great character, and we are excited to welcome him to the Blue Jackets. Let's see here. He's 6'2", 217, so yeah, that's big. He's from Minnesota. Well, that, again, bodes well. You're from Minnesota, a hockey state, and you went to Michigan, so that's good. So a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff about this, like this guy. I've also seen that some people think that he's could be a good 3rd-line, 4th-line guy, and I've also seen comparisons to like a Boone Jenner, which if that happens, I'm absolutely okay with that because Boone Jenner has been a good player for the Blue Jackets. So not surprising that the Blue Jackets got another Michigan guy because historically that's just what they do. The Blue Jackets like their Michigan guys.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I mean, I wish it were would work out into some more playoff appearances or, a Stanley Cup one of these days. But in general, the best player for the Blue Jackets for the last few years has been Michigan. Obviously, when Gaudreau was here, it was Boston University.
Yeah, he was a Boston College guy.
Boston College, right on.
But no, that's right. Some of the best players that the Blue Jackets have ever had. Jack Johnson, Adam Fantilli, Zach Werenski have all been Michigan guys, and that's just how it is. You want hockey players? You go to a Boston College. You go to a Minnesota. a Wisconsin, who was just in the national championship game, Michigan, whatever. That's where you go. If you want good hockey players, you go to schools like that. And the Blue Jackets are one of many teams that have benefited from Michigan being good at hockey consistently. So that's just how it is. And it just so happens that some of the best players that the Blue Jackets have had recently have been Zach Werenski and Adam Fantilli, and Kent Johnson has been good. And they went to Michigan. And that's just how it is. And there's some people out there, I get it. You like Ohio State. You don't like Michigan. I get that because, Ohio State flag in my background right here. So I get that. But at the same time, you just have to understand that that's just how it is. And one school puts effort into hockey, and because that they get rewarded, and one school doesn't. Ohio State is the school that does not get rewarded because they don't really care about hockey. Michigan is the school that does put effort into hockey, and they get rewarded, and that's just how it is. It would be nice if Ohio State actually cared about hockey, but that will never happen. So we just have to accept that for what it is and just say, yep, I may not like Michigan. I'm an Ohio State guy, but everyone gets one. Everyone gets one nice thing, and the one nice thing I'll say is, Michigan, you're consistently good at hockey, and because of that, the Blue Jackets have benefited from that by getting awesome hockey players.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be someone out there mad about it because it's Columbus. I understand,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's just a college. I don't know, like, why people get so worked up from it, like, for it. Like, I guess, like, I get if you're, like, an Ohio State alumni and all that. Like, I'm an Ohio State fan, but what's there to get all worked up over about where someone went to school at? Now, to be fair, like, I do like following Mason Lohrei a little bit, Ohio State boy, and some of the other hometown guys, but yeah.
So, yeah,
pretty cool.
I think part of that is because for a majority of the Columbus's existence, Ohio State was the only game in town, and if you wanted something else, you had to go to Cincinnati or Cleveland. And so because of that, you just get so crazy and just overly obsessed about it that that's all you have. And that's where a lot of this very strong anti-Michigan hatred comes from that sometimes goes too far. But now in today's world where Ohio State's not the only game in town anymore, where it's like, well, I don't want Ohio State. Okay, well, here's the Crew. Here's the Clippers. There's a volleyball team here now, a UFL team now. Here's the Blue Jackets. Like, you have a bunch of other stuff that you can do. So, like, you're not just so overly crazy and obsessed with that stuff because you have other stuff to take up some of your attention. But anyways.
Yeah.
So, but continuing on with the Big Ten theme is that the Blue Jackets will be having two prospects that will be playing at Minnesota next season. So those two prospects will be goalie Melvin Strahl, who was at Michigan State this past season, as well as defenseman Tanner Hendricks, who is really not going that very far because he was also playing for a Minnesota school. He was playing for St. Cloud State. So he's just going 2 hours down the road to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So two Blue Jackets prospects are going to Minnesota to play for the Gophers. Tanner Hendricks, defenseman, and goalie Melvin Strahl.
Nice. That's cool.
And always, when you got to talk about the Gophers, you have to use this good Gopher hockey logo.
Yeah. The best hockey logo of all time.
It's just so. It's
We got a
just
comment here
yeah.
from when we were talking about the Ohio State Buckeyes a little bit. We got the RoboBuck. Welcome in again. Nice to see you as always. Doish, the goalie for the Habs, the Buckeye. Tate Singleton of the Monsters, also Ohio State.
Okay, like that. I understand
That's
what
cool.
I understand what you're getting at here, but like, that's not big name. Like,
I mean,
it's not big name. It's not a Dylan Larkin. It's not a Kyle Connor, a Johnny Gaudreau, a Zach Werenski, and Adam Fantilli type of a talent, and that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not. If you want, generally speaking, if you want a good player, you want a Michigan, a Minnesota, a Wisconsin, a Boston College. This isn't to say that a school like Ohio State can't do it. They can. But when you don't care about hockey, you really don't get a lot of those guys. You get average at best, generally speaking. So, like, there's guys out there for Ohio State. I get it. But those are very few and far between, because when you don't put into effort into hockey, that's what you're going to get. Just from right now, from a recruiting standpoint, Michigan can say, come play hockey at Michigan. We had 4 players that played in the Olympics for Team USA hockey, and they won the gold medal. Those guys being Quinn Hughes, Dylan Larkin, Kyle Connor, and Zach Werenski. And then Michigan also say, hey, we were just in the Frozen Four again. For the last 5 seasons, we're in the Frozen Four. And historically, we've won Big Ten championships and national championships. Oh, and not that long ago, Adam Fantilli won the Hobey Baker Award winner, which is the Heisman Trophy for college hockey. And now he's a stud for the Blue Jackets. Wisconsin, they were just in the national championship game. And they're big. You say, they could, hey, come play for us. We're historically good. We have national championships, and we were just in the national championship game. And Cole Caulfield, you may have heard the guy. He's a real good player for Montreal, and he has 50, and he played at Wisconsin. Like, those are big, and Minnesota can say stuff like that, and all these big name schools, they can say stuff like that. Ohio State really can't. It would be cool if they could, but they just really can't. They just can't. Now, if it's football, that's a whole different story. Ohio State ridiculously good at football year in, year out, where they can say, hey, come play football for us. We're consistently good. We win the Big Ten and national championships, and we beat Michigan and all this other fun stuff, and we develop top talent. And look at this guy. He played for Ohio State, and, now he's a star player for this team or that team or that team. Ohio State can say that for football. Unfortunately, they can't say that for hockey, but schools like Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan and other places can say that. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Yes, there's people at Ohio State that do good in the NHL, but it's far and few between. Because every school makes a decision. What am I going to put effort into? For some schools, that's just basketball. They're just basketball schools. For some schools, it's just football. And for some schools, it's like, no, we can do good in football and basketball and hockey. It just depends on what does that school want to do. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, anyways, got that. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about this before we get into more of the big stuff is that the Reds recently revealed a new City Connect jersey, alternate jersey, basically, that baseball does. City Connect jerseys, so it's a new alternate jersey, And the Reds revealed what their new jersey looks like, and they wore it in the game, and it looks really good. It is a all red look. Red hat, red jersey, red pants, red socks. It just looks really good. And I'm going to put it up on the screen because it got me wondering, what would it look like if the Blue Jackets had an all blue look? Kind of like what the Reds are doing, except instead of all red, what if the Blue Jackets did an all blue look, where it's like blue helmet, blue jersey, blue pants, blue socks, that sort of thing.
That's pretty cool. Better than a different team's red jerseys that has the name blue in their team name.
Oh, I know.
At least this one makes sense.
Yes, I know. Like, your team is named the Reds, and you use red, unlike the Blue Jackets, who had a red jersey when it does not make sense to have red when you're the Blue Jackets, named after the Union soldiers that fought to free the slaves in the Civil War that wore blue jackets. Yeah. Anyways, and another thing is, like, these jerseys are actually well received among Reds fans. They love them. They love the all red look. Whereas if Blue Jackets fans saw that red jersey and like, oh God, that is awful. What is that? I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, what really makes these ones stand out is the red pants, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is a common thing that most people say, that they really like the red pants.
I'm trying to think. I haven't even. So it was only 8 teams this year for MLB.
Yes.
That did it. There's the Braves, the Orioles, the Reds, Royals, Brewers, Pirates, Padres, and the Rangers.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool. You know how we like our jerseys here?
We do. We do like jerseys, so it's not surprising we're talking about that. Anyways. Okay, so to start off, the first game that the Blue Jackets played was a game against Detroit. The Blue Jackets get a big win in Detroit. They beat the Red Wings 4-3. To start off the first period, the Blue Jackets were playing a good game. They had some good shifts in the offensive zone, and eventually they get a big goal from Denton Heinen. And what I like about this is that Blue Jackets, they before that goal, they had a couple good shifts in the offensive zone, and then they just kept good shift after shift and just outworked Detroit. Detroit had chances to get it out. They couldn't get it out. And then the Blue Jackets outworked them, out-hustled them, and then puck pops loose to Mason Marchment, who then quickly passes it to Denton Heinen, and Denton Heinen shoots and scores. Good play. Awesome. Nicely done, Blue Jackets. Shortly after that, though, if there's one thing that you can't do if you're playing Detroit, is Detroit's really good on the power play, and you need to stay away from that. Because if you don't, you're probably going to give up a goal, and that's what happened. The Blue Jackets give up a goal. They had chances to get it out. They couldn't get it out, and you get punished. That was very preventable. And the thing is, it's something that Hefty Duck and I have said many times on this show, which is skate, 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 skate. Move your feet. Move your feet. If you move your feet, you're not going to get called. And the Blue Jackets didn't do that. The guy who takes the penalty for the Blue Jackets is not moving his feet. He's just standing there, and he gets called. If you move your feet, you're not going to get called. But he didn't do that. And then eventually he gets scored on. It just, it was It was not good. Then but other than that, it was a good first period for the Blue Jackets. We get to the second period, and, it wasn't, for a good chunk of that period, it was not very good. Detroit gets another goal, up to 1. I don't know what happened, but all that positive momentum that the Blue Jackets had in that first period, they just stopped playing. And it's like, you can't do that. And then it was just slop. But the Blue Jackets get a big goal from Zach Werenski on the power play. And if there's a theme with the Blue Jackets this season, is that their road power play, which was god-awful last season, is now really good. It's top 10. It's one of the best road power plays in hockey this season. And if you need a goal, you can count on the Blue Jackets road power play because it gets the job done again. The Blue Jackets get another big goal on the power play on the road from Zach Werenski. Good shift in the offensive zone. Couple shots, good puck movement, and eventually it gets to Zach Werenski. And then Zach Werenski, it's a slap, kind of like a slap shot up high, where he just blows it past the goalie. No chance. So that was cool. And overall, minus giving up a goal, things got better towards the end of the second period. Now, the third period was okay. You had so many chances to put it away, you couldn't get it done. And then you give up a goal because you lose the face-off and you can't get it out. And now it's 3-2. And at that point in time, it's like not looking good because after that, for whatever reason, the Blue Jackets were just kind of there. And you're thinking, oh boy, this is a game that the Blue Jackets need to win because if they lose, then that just makes their path to the playoffs that much harder. But less than a minute to go, Adam Fantilli gets a big goal for the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets pull the goalie. They win the faceoff. Detroit can't get it out. Zach Werenski gets the puck, passes it over to Adam Fantilli. Adam Fantilli shoots and scores. The game is tied up at 3. Just, wow. It was one of the best goals that Adam Fantilli has ever scored with the Blue Jackets. That big, that important, and it just shows why Adam Fantilli needs to shoot the puck more. You have a really good shot, Adam Fantilli, time and time again. I've seen you do it. You shoot the puck and you blow it by the goalie where he has no chance. Do that more. Like, yes, you're good at passing the puck too. You've set up some awesome plays where the Blue Jackets get a goal. But your first thing, in my opinion, needs to be shoot that puck. Shoot the puck. You are really good at shooting the puck. And that game against Detroit is a perfect example of that, of why you need to shoot the puck. Because as soon as he shot that puck, the puck's in the net and the goalie has no chance. It's too late. Because by the time that Detroit's goalie realizes what's happening, it's too late. The puck's in the back of the net. Because Adam Fantilli's shot is that good. Other than Kirill Marchenko, there's very few people that are really that good at shooting the puck on the Blue Jackets. So I would like to see Adam Fantilli shoot the puck more. That's just me. Now, we get to the overtime period. And quite honestly, that was not a good overtime period for the Blue Jackets. They were god-awful. They had like 1 or 2 chances, but that was dominated by Detroit. Detroit had so many chances to put it away, and they couldn't do it. Whether that be they shot it and they missed the net high, they shot it wide, or Jack Greaves hung in there and made a big save to keep the Blue Jackets in the game. But in the end, it goes to a shootout. The Blue Jackets get 3 big goals in the shootout from Kent Johnson, Charlie Coyle, and Zach Werenski gets the game-winning goal in the shootout to get a big win for the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets win 4-3, one of the best games you played all season long, one of the biggest wins you've gotten all season long. There were just so many moments in that game when you needed something to happen, you got it done. It went right for you. You needed a big save from Jack Greaves. Jack Greaves got it done. He got you that big save. Someone needed to block a shot. It got done. Someone needed to win a big face-off. It got done. You needed a good shift in the offensive zone. It got done. You needed a big goal. Someone was there to get it done. A total team effort. That was awesome. Definitely one of the better games that they played all season long. 7 out of 10 only because you gave up 3 goals. I can't give like an 8 if you give up 3 goals because I really want to give it an 8, but you gave up 3 goals. So I can't do that. So 7 out of 10. But other than that, nicely done, Blue Jackets. One of the best games he played all season long.
Yeah, pretty solid game, especially with the amount of pressure that was on them to win this. I mean, that's one thing you got to take into account a little bit here towards the end of the season when they're really fighting for the spot that they're most likely not going to get, unfortunately. But big pressure's on, big game. One of the at that time, one of the biggest games of the year for them, probably, just with all things considered. So overall, I think they did a pretty good job too. I mean, I can't argue with the 7 out of 10 rating there. Definitely could have been higher had you not allowed at least one of the other goals. If they would let 2 in, like that's whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but if they wouldn't have gone to overtime, they would have gotten an 8. If they wouldn't have gone to a shootout, would have gotten 8.
Yeah.
But you know, at least they got the shootout win. So yeah, that first period, Danton Heinen came in hot with the goals. That was cool. And the Blue Jackets only gave up 1 power play because the second power play
was abbreviated.
In the end, why does it say Detroit's 1-for-1? I thought wouldn't they be 1-for-2?
Yeah.
Oh, is it because they overlapped a little bit, the penalties?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Ben Schrott had a double minor. That's right. I forgot. I was just like, why? It was just 2 minutes. Nope. Never mind me. So 1-for-1. Like Kevin said earlier, they're great on the power play. You can't give up 1. You just can't. And unfortunately, you know, it's just a stupid penalty early on. Interference on Comfer from Garland. But yeah, one thing that was much better this game that I've been bitching about hard these last few games is the amount of shots taken. The Blue Jackets, you know, this whole game they had 35 shots on goal, which is pretty solid. 3 of those shots were in overtime. So they did about an average of like 10-ish per period, which is in my opinion, like the minimum of what needs done is at least 10. Shit, I would love to see 40 shots in a regular time, you know. But then, you know, Detroit was right behind them. They had 37. They actually had like the same amount during the game. It wasn't until overtime when they got the extra 4 shots on goal. So keeping up. Face-offs were pretty equal this game. Blue Jackets came out on top a little bit. That's one thing they were struggling at for a little while here. Hits, blocks, giveaways, all that's about the same. So that's why they ended up tied. That's why they ended up going to the shootout, is because of so many simple things. Announcer said it best. How fitting would it be for Zach Werenski to get the winning goal since it's in Detroit, and you know it's a Michigan guy right there, and he got the winning goal. in the shootout, which was really cool. A second shootout where Krymarchenko does not make his attempt. He's still let's see real quick. We have shootout results. Krymarchenko is 6 for 9. Kent Johnson's 5 for 7. So they both missed a few. Coyle's 4 for 4, and Werenski 1 for 1. Adam Fantilli is 1 for 8. We talked about this last week. I love you to death, my guy, and I believe there's got to be something that I practice to decide this. It's not just some random guys are thrown out there, and Fantilli must be, doing very well. Because 1 for 8, that's 12%. That like absolutely zero offense and zero shade meanness at all. It's simple stats. That's it. It's just
needs to be better. That needs to be better. You know what? I know you're good for Adam Fantilli. I know you're good friends with Kent Johnson. So you know what? This upcoming off season, go hang out with him for a bit and see if you can learn some tips on how you can be good in the shootout, because that does need to be better. We can't keep having you do this where you go out in the shootout and other than that one time basically not get it. Other than that one time, we are going to need you to step it up there. We are going to need you to step it up there, because that's really the only thing you can nitpick about him right now is that he's not very good in shootouts right now, and we want that to be better. So go hang out with your buddy Kent Johnson for a little bit and get some tips from him. See how you can do better.
Yeah, because Kent Johnson, he's got a pretty good percentage. He's made 5 of 7. That gives him a 71%, which is, although Marchenko has attempted 2 more, it gives him a slightly higher percentage than Marchenko. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. So, good job, Zach Werenski. First period, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Second period, 8 out of 10, because I love seeing them score in the power play goal they got scored against though. Third period, starts to make me a little more nervous, so they're getting ahead. So I gotta give that one like a 6 out of 10. So overall, 7 out of 10. Good win, good game. That won the series for the Blue Jackets this year. They had previously lost to Detroit in overtime in November 4-3. They won in a shootout on December 4th, and then they won in a shootout. So every single game against Detroit this year has gone over into overtime. And if you look at these two teams, 41, 30, and 9, 40, 29, and 12. Yeah, pretty close records. And so it's no surprise. I mean, Detroit has 1 less point than the Blue Jackets. It's no surprise how even they are right now. Yep. And a lot of people, just like with the Blue Jackets a little while ago, were talking about Detroit's meteoric rise. It's like all of a sudden they were like, boom. It was like, oh, dude, they look like they're going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the Blue Jackets, and although there's like a 6% chance or something like that yet, like I'm not holding my breath. Although Carolina's up 2-0 right now in the first. Man. 1 minute left to go. Anyway, so pretty good game from both teams. It just comes down to that. Like, they're very equally matched. Had they not given up that double minor in the second, Detroit could have walked away with this easily.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that has gotten into the last 2 seasons, one of the things about Detroit that people have talked about is that they have good players, they can be a good team, their power play is really good, but what gets in their way? Bad penalty kill, and their 5-on-5 play is awful. Last season, they were one of the worst penalty kills. They had one of the worst defenses. They were one of the worst 5-on-5 teams. And last season, the Blue Jackets, they won the season series 2-1, and a big reason for that is the Blue Jackets exploited those weaknesses. They exploited their penalty kill. They exploited their bad defense. They exploited their bad 5-on-5 play, especially in the outdoor game at Ohio State, where 3 of the 5 goals were 5-on-5. And fast forward to this season, what do people say about Detroit? They can be a good team. They have good players. They're good on the power play. And they still really haven't fixed their 5-on-5 issues. And their penalty kill kind of struggles. Their defense is kind of there, kind of struggles. So the same issues you had last season is what you still had this season. And again, the Blue Jackets exploited that. They exploited their bad 5-on-5 play. They got a goal on the power play. So 2 years in a row that the Blue Jackets have exposed a weakness that Detroit hasn't fixed yet. So I just kind of find that interesting. And what, at least from my perspective, what kind of feeds into that play is Detroit kept icing the puck again and again and again and again. You can only do that for so long. 1 or 2 times you're fine, but the more you do that, you're going to get burned. And that's what happened. Detroit kept icing the puck. They couldn't get it out. And eventually they lose the face-off. They can't get it out. Puck goes to Zach Werenski, who then passes it to Adam Fantilli. Shoot and score. And interesting enough, a game before that, they were playing Minnesota, and they basically kind of lost on a similar thing where they left. So if you're playing the Blue Jackets, Adam Fantilli's a guy that you don't want wide open. He's really good at shooting the puck. Because if you do leave him wide open, stuff like that happens where he scores a goal. What happened against Minnesota? It's late in the game, and the puck is in the defensive zone for Detroit. Detroit can't get it out. And what happens? Kirill Kaprizov, the best player for Minnesota, who's also their best shooter, is left wide open, and he shoots and scores, and that ended up being the difference in the game. So, like, that's 2 games right there where, for Detroit, we're leaving the shooter, the best shooter on the team, one of the best shooters on the teams, wide open, and it costs them. So, you would think they would have fixed their bad 5-on-5 play by now, but I guess not, because the Blue Jackets have exploited that 2 seasons in a row now.
Yeah, and at least no one from Detroit can argue about any stupid penalty calls now.
Oh, no, they're still arguing about that.
Yeah.
It's more than a year later, and I still see Detroit fans say, oh, it's a high stick, and they still think they lost the outdoor game because of that. You didn't. You lost because, again, your defense was one of the worst defense in hockey, and you had bad 5-on-5 play. And when you play a team like the Blue Jackets, who was one of the best teams at 5-on-5 last season, and one of the best teams at scoring goals last season, you're going to lose. That's not a good strategy. And what do you know? What happened? Detroit's god-awful defense and their terrible 5-on-5 play let them down against the Blue Jackets at the outdoor game at Ohio State because they gave up 5 goals to a team who's really good at scoring goals, the Blue Jackets. So no, like, more than 1 year later, we still have stupid, idiotic Detroit fans that are acting cringe, thinking they lost that outdoor game because of a high stick, when they didn't.
Yeah. Pretty funny.
But wait, there's more. Here we have a video the day before the Blue Jackets game against Detroit from 97.1 The Ticket, a radio station in the Detroit media. And they're asking the Blue Jackets to beat Detroit because they are just so upset and disgusted at the Red Wings that they want to be just done with it. And we're going to play that video.
If you can.
Let's see. Okay, there it is, up on the screen.
if you can hear me in Columbus, Ohio, I am begging you to come up here and win. I'm begging you. Please. I'm begging you.
Mike, are you going to be the guy firing the Columbus Blue Jackets cannon?
I'm going to be the old bumblebee when Sergei played for the team. I need you to come up here and beat the Red Wings because why? We don't want to suffer anymore. I need you to end my suffering.
If they do that, will you wear the penis cannon mascot?
Sure. Because honestly, being an observer of this team, that's what I feel like watching them. I feel like a giant penis.
Oh.
I dedicated 6 hours of my weekend to that. That's penis, baby. You may as well. Honestly, that's what I feel like.
8 minutes into the show, we got a penis behavior.
If you pay to watch this or you dedicate 6 hours of your weekend, you know what I felt like? One of those weird balloon things in front of the car dealership. Well, oh, look at me.
So
here's my weekend.
Inflatable
That's all Red Wing fans this weekend. We're just like this. I hate everything. Then I spited them for coming back, and then I spited Kane for the penalty and not caring, and then I re-spited them because they couldn't kill the penalty. Just penis behavior. That's 6 hours. I gave them 6 hours. If I spent to watch that, oh my God, my head would explode. I'm rooting for them to lose now.
Well then, Detroit media, 97.1 the ticket. Guess what? You got your wish. You wanted the Blue Jackets to beat Detroit. Guess what? I have news for you. The Blue Jackets beat Detroit. So, hey, ask and you shall receive. You wanted the Blue Jackets to beat Detroit? Guess what? You got it. The Blue Jackets beat Detroit. So, say thank you to the Blue Jackets. They gave you what you wanted. You wanted the Blue Jackets to beat Detroit, and they gave you that. So, just saying. Say thank you to the Blue Jackets.
Hell yeah. I mean, I get it.
Imagine your team is so bad up there in Detroit, at least from the media perspective in Detroit, that you're actively cheering them to lose, that you have a team from Michigan that is asking a team from Ohio to beat a Michigan team. That does not happen normally. It is that bad up there that the Detroit media is asking a Ohio team, the Blue Jackets, to go up to Michigan and beat a Michigan team. The Detroit Red Wings. That is just crazy, but I love it. So as soon as I saw that video, I had to share this on the show. So 97.1 the ticket from a radio station in the Detroit media. I got news for you. Guess what? You got your wish. You wanted the Blue Jackets to beat Detroit, and that's exactly what happened. The Blue Jackets beat Detroit. CBJ! 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 CBJ!
Hell yeah.
But anyways, on to the next game. The Blue Jackets played the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo, and oh my goodness, that was disgustingly bad. What was that weak, stupid, idiotic nonsense? God, awful! Awful! What are we doing? What are we doing? That was a 2 out of 10. Awful. Awful. Why? Why was it awful? I'll tell you why. Because there were moments in that game where you played good. You looked good. You played a good game. You had good shifts in the offensive zone. And yet you couldn't do nothing. You couldn't put it in the net. First 2 periods were okay. You were only down one. Only down 1-0. And then the third period, you pooped your pants and you gave up 4 goals. And it was just like, what was that stupid, idiotic nonsense? Awful. Just terrible. You just didn't want to show up other than those moments in the game where you look good You just didn't. I guess you didn't want to show up and play today because it was that bad. And I just don't get it. It was just stupid, weak, pathetic, idiotic nonsense. Just awful. 2 out of 10, and that needs to be better. It just needs to be better.
Yeah, holy shit. Is that all you got for the game? Because I'm about to
Yeah.
be
Look,
kind of an asshole about this.
no, that's really all I have, Hefty Doc. It was
That's
just
totally
that
fair.
awful. It was just that awful.
Yeah, what is there to say except for holy shit, you sucked. That sucked. There's no other possible way I can phrase that that's any nicer. I mean, there might be, but I won't do it. I can't do it. Not with when you lose 5-0 in the most literal important, one of the most important games of the year for you. I know the Sabres are like good, obviously. They're making the playoffs. So let's talk about something real quick. So remember how I was bitching so hard about the shots on goal these last few days? They had like like 10 shots on goal to one game, like 3 in one period, maybe. That was sad. Well, this game they did a lot better with that. 10 shots in the first, 14 in the second, 13 in the third. They had 37 shots in regular time against Buffalo's 24 shots. So, when you're taking an entire period's worth of shots more than the other team, 13 shots more than the other team, you should fucking score one. At least one.
Mhm.
I mean, I understand Ellis was killing it in goal, but you got to find a way. Figure out. I mean, and to be fair, that second period wasn't bad.
No.
I can't complain. There was, a little penalty on both teams there. Whatever. Same with the first period. Like the first period was not good. Obviously, they gave up a goal, but yeah. I mean, first period, second period, okay. Well, they're still in it. They're gonna come out in the third period down 1 goal. All of a sudden, it hits about 7 minutes or so in that game, and it just goes all downhill. Didn't Josh Doan play for the Blue Jackets at one point?
No.
I'm just thinking of Josh Dunn. Never mind. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty awful all around. First career shutout for Ellis. Sucks. 37 shots on goal and not one made. Like, you should have at least let the other team take more shots. That way, the 5 goals made is a lower shot percentage made for the goaltender. Like, I don't know. That's rough. Face-offs. Blue Jackets did way better on the face-offs than the Sabres did. 50, almost 58% to 42%, basically. Crazy. 0 for 4 on the power play, Blue Jackets. That's one of your big issues right there. And in fact, do you recall in the very first game of the year, you were there, I was there, when it was like after like the 3rd or 4th power play, like the fans started booing because the Blue Jackets couldn't score.
Yeah.
They did it again this last, I think last night or whatever. I heard them in one of these last few games booing when they had a power play. Obviously, this one's in New York, but booing because of the lack of ability to score in the power play. Holy shit. Passing and okay, that's a different game. I'll talk about that later. Hits are pretty even. Now, Sabres have 20 block shots. The Blue Jackets 9. So I don't know what that says about anything. And yeah, the Blue Jackets had already won this series for the year, but they won the first game 4-3 in overtime, second game 5-1, and lost this one 5-0. So at least you got the series, but you needed the sweep for this to get anywhere in this division and everything. I don't really have much more to say other than holy shit.
Yeah.
If this is what you're gonna do, like,
yeah,
I'm gonna choose to be nice right here. I'm gonna stop talking. We can go to the next game.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Fucking 2 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Fuck it. You know what? That game, with considering everything, considering when it was, what they needed to do to win, how close to the playoffs they were, 0 out of fucking 10. 0 like the amount of goals you got.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I have to get. I can't go 0 because there's stuff I liked in that game, but 2 out of 10. But anyway, still not good. Needs to be better. But we go on to the next game when the Blue Jackets played one of the best games they played all season long. It was that awesome. The Blue Jackets get a big win in Montreal by beating the Montreal Canadiens 5-2. It should have been 6-2. There was some stupid, idiotic shenanigans where you're taking away a goal for goaltender interference. That was not goaltender interference. We'll get there. But first, Blue Jackets start off playing really good shifts in the offensive zone. And they just kept building on the momentum. Shift after shift after shift, good shifts in the offensive zone. And then you get a big goal from Boone Jenner. Blue Jackets get a good shift in the offensive zone, win some puck battles along the boards, and then puck pops loose. Blue Jackets pass it to Boone Jenner, who gets the puck, and then he just jams it in the net. That, if there was ever a definition of a Boone Jenner goal, it was right there, where you just take the puck right to the net and you just jam it in there. Just shove it in there. And that's what he did. Good goal, Boone Jenner. And then the Blue Jackets get a big goal from Charlie Coyle. And again, it's the same idea of, you know what? Puck's on net. We're going to shoot the puck, get good shifts in the offensive zone, and eventually Charlie Coyle gets it because he gets a little deflection where puck kind of bounces off his stick, and like he just kind of just like jams it in there, or he just shoves it into the net. So good goal from Charlie Coyle. They do give up a goal there, so not good. But other than that, it was a good period. So nicely done, Blue Jackets. The second period was one of the best second periods they played all season long. They get 2 big goals. First from Kirill Marchenko. It was a great goal where like he did like this like juke thing where he juked like the defender like 2 or 3 times, and then he shot it and he scored. It was just an awesome goal. And then you get a big goal from Sean Monahan where Montreal's going to want to have that one back because for whatever reason in the second period, they were just too lackadaisical and just too like loosey-goosey with the puck. Too careless, and you're making plays where you shouldn't make plays, and you're forcing pucks where they shouldn't be. And to the Blue Jackets' credit, they picked those plays off, kept the puck in the offensive zone, and they got a goal off of it because Montreal too loosey-goosey with the puck. It gets picked off by Kent Johnson, and then he quickly passes it over to Sean Monahan. Sean Monahan shoots and scores. Montreal really had nothing that period. No answer to the Blue Jackets. So bad to the point to where Montreal is getting booed on the home ice by their fans. They were that bad. So, really good second period. One of the best second periods you've played all season long. Now, we get to the third period. And again, this is where you get into trouble because Montreal is like Detroit. They have a really good power play. And if you give them a chance, they're going to score. And that's what happened. Montreal scored. And Cole Caulfield, who's a really good goal scorer, was up open. And he can't do that. But at the same time, Jet Greaves, we have to be honest with ourselves. Because he's a shorter goalie, he gives up stuff up high, and he can't really, cover that, and that's what happened. He gives up. Montreal shoots. It's a goal up high, and he can't really stop it because he's short. And do I like that? No, but it is what it is. I've accepted that Jet Greaves is going to give up some goals up high that he just can't really stop because he's a shorter goalie. So I've accepted that's just how it's going to go. But then Jet Greaves will do awesome, good stuff besides that. So it is what it is. Now, the Blue Jackets, later on in the game, the Blue Jackets get some good shifts in the offensive zone. They think they get a goal to make it 5-2 from Boone Jenner. And they get the goal. Everyone is, for the Blue Jackets, is celebrating and giving high fives and giving each other hugs. And, the ref points to the net like, goal. And then the refs, they huddle, and then they say, oh, no, it's no goal, goaltender interference. And that was absolutely not. Hell no. What was that weak, stupid, idiotic, pathetic nonsense? You don't get to do that. How it normally goes is puck goes in the net and the ref points to it goal, goal, goal. If you think it's goaltender interference, you know what has to be done? The team that gets scored on has to challenge that. Montreal didn't even do that because the refs didn't even give them the chance to do that. They said, oh, no, it's no goal, goaltender interference. No. Yeah, there's contact because a Montreal player went into the goal themselves. What are you doing? So then, instead of giving Montreal the chance to challenge it, you didn't give them that chance. You just took it away, and then the onus was on the Blue Jackets to challenge that. Now, under normal circumstances, you challenge it and say, okay, that's a goal. But there have been so many calls this season, not just with the Blue Jackets, where you think, oh, that's not goaltender interference, and you challenge it, and it gets called goaltender interference. And then you're on the power play. And the Blue Jackets, there's been some calls this season where they got screwed, where it's that's not goaltender interference, or you're challenging it because of this or that. And you see the replay, and it should be called, oh, that's not goaltender interference, or it's not this or that. That should be a good goal. And yet they still call it. The most recent example of this is the Blue Jackets played a game against Carolina where Carolina blatantly bumps into the goalie, Jet Greaves, and they score. The Blue Jackets challenge that, thinking, okay, that's goaltender interference. But nope. It stood, and it was why? So that's the unfortunate reality, is that even in a situation like that where it's not goaltender interference and you get screwed for a goal, you have to sit there and take it, knowing that if you do that, it's still probably going to get called goaltender interference. I don't like thinking like that. I don't like saying that, but that is the truth. You have to think like that. And when the Canadians just scored a goal, there's a good chance they're probably going to score another one because they're good on the power play. And do you want to do that? And the Blue Jackets have had issues with third period leads this season. Not really under Rick Bowness. That's been much better. But you still have to consider that. And so because of that, the Blue Jackets didn't challenge that when they should have. But I get why they didn't do it, because they didn't want to be screwed again by another dumb call. But let's say, 5-10 minutes after that, the Blue Jackets go on the power play. And yet again, the road power play for the Blue Jackets, which has been good all season long, comes up in the clutch again. The Blue Jackets get a big goal from Charlie Coyle again. And it's just like what he did with the first goal. You have a good shift in the offensive zone. You have a couple good shots. Eventually, it goes to Kirill Marchenko, and then Kirill Marchenko just quickly just fires it at the net. Puck bounces off Charlie Coyle's stick, goes in the net, and where again, like the first goal, where he just jams it in there. And now it's 5-2. But realistically, it should have been 6-2. The final score of this game should have been 6-2, not 5-2. But I guess the rest felt like they needed to save Montreal there. Because, let's be honest here, for a majority of that game, they were getting smoked. The Blue Jackets were smoking them. They're getting their ass handed to them. They're getting whooped. So they had to step in. Nope, gotta save Montreal, I guess. But the Blue Jackets get that goal, and then after that, they didn't really have much. Jack Greaves make a big save here and there, and Blue Jackets win. They get a big win in Montreal. They win 5-2, one of the best games all season long. 8 out of 10. Nicely done, Blue Jackets. You did a good job.
Yeah, this is a really sick game. It was definitely a palate cleanser after the previous game and how getting shut out. You know, it's always nice to see him starting out hot. It's been a couple games now that they've gotten goals within the first like 2 or 3 minutes, and that just gives them such a good momentum. Sometimes until the third period, but you know, it's a great way to start out the game, especially from Captain Boone Jenner. Yeah, good first period overall. Good first period. There was a couple penalty kills. Just the one power play early on, and then a cross check on Hudson from Goodbranson that they had to kill. Kirby Doc and Dante Fabro both got roughing for each other at the very, very end of the period. So I think it started out 4-4 in the second. Boone Jenner, Charlie Coyle scored in the first. I'm going to talk about Coyle here in just a second. Josh Anderson ringing it up for the Habs. Second period, Kirill Marchenko starts the scoring out. The exact guy who you need to be scoring. And then Sean Monahan, a fantastic second period. Absolutely great. You know, had a couple penalties there. Jenner had the one on tripping on Hudson. Crazy how he gets fouled all the time. But yeah, then we go to the third period, and they give up another power play goal to, I mean, of all people, Cole Caulfield. From what I recall, didn't watch the goal again today yet, but from what I recall, it was a really good shot. I mean, that's someone who you can't let give them space or anything at all like that. He's too good. He's a fantastic player. And then, you know, him having Suzuki and Slavkovsky out there with them is just huge. And then bringing it up at the very end, Charlie Coyle. Excuse me. It's always right when I start talking. So Coyle, having quietly, well, maybe not quietly to Blue Jackets fans, quietly having a career year, not just a good year. I'm talking, okay, so he's played all 82 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about to be 7 times in his many-year career, 13-year career. Yeah. That's over half the times that he got 82 games fully. Actually, this year, last season, wait, what? 2 teams? He played 83. That's funny. That's the most he's ever played in the season. Anyway, so the most points Charlie Coyle has ever gotten in the season was in the 23-24 season. He had a 60-point season, 25 goals, 35 assists for 60 points, -2, 38 penalty minutes. 17 of those goals were even strength, 7 were power play, 1 was a shorthanded. 5 game-winning goals. That's a pretty decent amount. So the next closest prior to this year was in the 2016-2017 season. He played all 82 games, 18 goals, 38 assists for 56 points. So he's four points behind his best ever, and that was all 8 years difference between the time. +1, 16 penalty minutes, 19 even strength goals. 2 of those are on the power play, no shorthanded, and 4 game-winning goals. So this season, he's right in between those. He has 81 games played so far. There's Tuesday night, which I'm assuming he's going to play, and we don't know what's going to happen there. Whether or not he gets 1 point, 2 points, no points, it's still a career year for him. So 58 points right now. So he is 2 points behind his best career game, his best year ever. So 20 goals, 38 assists for 58 points. The +3, only 14 penalty minutes. That is the least amount of penalty minutes he's ever had. Now, I'm going to say that he's going to get like a game misconduct or something on fucking Tuesday and get like, a half hour added to his time or something. But only 14 minutes. That's the least he's ever had in his career. 13 goals were on even strength, 7 were on power plays, no shorthanded, and 3 game-winning goals this season. So he has, just like the rest of the Blue Jackets, done really well in 5-on-5. A lot of those goals coming from the and I guess he's been the guy for the power play too. If he's getting 7 power play goals, I feel like no one else has that many, but I'd have to actually look. So yeah, he's well above his average. His most of his games played 479 games at Minnesota and 452 games in Boston. He only played 19 in Colorado because he got traded partway through the year. And he's at 81 games played for the Blue Jackets so far. So, like I said, career year this man's having out there. You know what to expect from him every single night. Absolute great addition to this. Some people are like, "Oh, he's 33. Is he like starting to slow down a little bit?" It doesn't matter, I don't think, with Coyle, because 1, I don't think he is. 2, 33 is like in the real world, it's not that old. Like you should be in really good shape. You should at least not be, I don't know, decrepit and old, I guess, as an athlete in your 30s. But yeah, he definitely has not slowed down in the slightest, and I think fantastic addition to the team overall. 33 years old this year. He's going to be 34 by next season. I believe that he probably sticks around a little while yet. I don't see a reason why not. But he's got to be 34 soon, right?
He is 34.
Because he's only born the year after me, 92.
He's my age.
Yeah. Duh, I'm 35, not 36. Never mind, dude. Never mind. I thought I started at 36 for like 3 years in a row now. I don't know what my problem is. I'm not. Fuck. All right. Coyle, absolute killing it. So first period, give you a good old 8 out of 10 there. Got 1 scored against it. Second period, I mean, that's 10 out of 10 almost for me. I mean, there was some things I didn't like at certain times, but absolutely great. Third period, give that one a 8 out of 10 as well. So overall, this game is the 8.5 out of 10 for me. I'll bump it up. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for me. They did absolutely great. There was never any moment in this game where I was like, oh, they're going to blow it. Or like, oh, here we go again type shit. 33 shots on goal. That's good. Averaging 11 shots per period and whatnot. Kept Montreal to 22. Had 10% better face-offs, 1 for 4 power play, both teams. So, I mean, if you're going to suck at the power play, at least hopefully your penalty kill can stop the other team. Hits were a little off. Block shots were a little off. Montreal had both and both. More giveaways for the Blue Jackets. I've been seeing a lot of giveaways from the Blue Jackets. On average, they're doing anywhere from like 15 to 20, I think, in the last 5 to 10 games. So, got to shore that up. It did not affect them that night, but it may have affected them Oh yeah. So over, I already said my overall score, 9 out of 10. Yeah. Okay. So it may have affected them in the next game we're about to talk about.
All right. Well, and so the Blue Jackets played a game against Boston and Columbus. 3 out of 10. You're just awful. You started out good shifts in the offensive zone. You get a big goal from Mason Marchment. That was good. You give up a goal because you can't clear the front of the net. You can't get it out. And, you know, and then the second period mostly was awful. And then you give up a goal late in the second period. And up high again, because Jet Greaves, unfortunately that's what he does. Like, he really good, makes big saves and everything, but he gives up high because he's kind of short. And then, so that was that. The third period, you get a big goal from Adam Fantilli to tie it. Great shot on the breakaway, blows it by the goalie, no chance. And then you can't get it out, and the Bruins get a goal. And again, Jack Greaves gives the one up high because he's short. It is what it is, but we have to point that out, that unfortunately he's going to give up goals up high because he's short. Now, 6 foot is still big, but when goalies in today's world are like 6'5", 6'6", then that's kind of short. Then that's just how it is. I'm not even being disrespectful towards Jack Greaves, but that's just how it is. So, gives up another goal up high. Blue Jackets had so many chances to score, but they can't put it away. And they lose. Now, there was a too many men on the ice call that they missed 7 guys against the Bruins earlier in the game that they should have called, but they didn't, and I just don't understand why. It was really that obvious that, hello, too many men on the ice. It was just that bad, like you should have called it. Like, here, and I'll put this up on the screen here. So, icing call that was not icing that led to a Boston goal. Erica Branson gets hauled down, and that led to one of the goals getting scored. And then, why did you... Too many men on the ice. And then, possible delay a game that they probably missed at the end of the second period. So, like, there's stuff that they should have called. But having said all of that, the Blue Jackets still had so many chances to put it away, and just dumb mistakes cost them, and they lose. And now, you just made it so much harder on yourself than it had to be. Because, yes, the Blue Jackets are still in the playoffs. They are not officially knocked out. They are still officially in. But you just made it harder on yourself. Because now you have to win your last game, and you have to hope that the Philadelphia Flyers, lose their 2 games. That's easier said than done. Can it happen? Yes, absolutely. But you just made it harder on yourself, and it did not have to be like that. It was just, not a very good effort. You got 2 goals, and other moments you look good in the game, but other than that, it was god awful, and it just awful. It just needs to be better. Awful it just needs to be better. 3 out of 10.
That's mighty generous of you. I'm gonna continue my tirade of being kind of an asshole about this shit because it's pissing me off. I just gotta vent a little bit here. You know, that's all I'm doing. I don't hold any personal grudges towards any of these people. They're amazing what they do. I've been cheering them all year. I'll cheer them next year. I'll cheer them the rest of this fucking year, right? Whether or not they win the next 2 games or whatever happens. But yeah, welcome to the life of an Ohio sports fan, and you know, shit. And of all people, too, to have like a hell of a 3-point night, Sean Corrali having a 3-point night against Blue Jackets, and Corpy having a 943 save percentage against Blue Jackets, and Peak, seen him pin someone up on the boards last night. He got a penalty for roughing on Miles Wood. Poor Miles Wood. Yeah, he got roughed, and then he got hit in the face with a stick too later on, not on purpose. Anyway, first period, dude, starts out so good. 4 minutes in, Mason Marchman's scoring, tipping one in. Boom. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh yeah, the boys are out there. They're performing at their peak. Everything's going good. Let's go. It's gonna be a good game. So, yeah, that lasted for like 6 minutes or so. Sean Corrali got a deflection in from Yokiharu and Kastelik to tie it up at 1-1. That would keep it tied going into the second period when Yokiharu got a wrist shot, with less 19 seconds left to go in the period, just to mess with everyone. Honestly, I thought that was still a pretty good period overall. I mean, Blue Jackets getting off. I want to talk about the first period again here soon because they actually did a very phenomenal job for 90% of that first period. Yes. Third period, Fantilli ties it up. That's fantastic. And he ties it up with only a minute 27 into the third period. So much game left to go. So they could score another one, they could then, that gives them some momentum because we all know that third periods can kind of drop off for the Blue Jackets. So hopefully that score at the beginning would help keep that momentum going in an upward trajectory, and that's not what happened. What a game. So yeah, about 9 minutes later, Mark Kastelik gets a pass from Corrali, his third point of the night, to make it 3-2, and the Blue Jackets could not recover from that in this at all. Damn. This was legitimately and actually a pretty okay game played by them. And that's what makes this sting a lot. And I was mostly happy with the majority of their play that game. Even before they got scored on, I wasn't like, oh yeah, these guys they're gonna blow it here. No, I didn't have that feeling going to the third. Sometimes I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. I said that for the last game too, but no, this game I didn't have that feeling, and honestly, it's credit where credit's due. Boston grinded and worked hard to get that goal. They were working hard. Marchment, Fantilli with the goal was absolutely great. Shots on goal. So I want to talk about this with the first period, and this is part of why I'm so impressed with the Blue Jackets and also so disappointed that they lost, because they lost 3-2 and they had 35 shots on goal. So once again, they had 13 more shots than the other team. That's a whole period's worth of shots more than the other team, and couldn't come up with a goal out of that. So or an extra goal. So it's just really one of those hard to watch kind of things, because you can see them out there obviously trying. 14 shots on goal in the first period is fantastic, especially when they held the Boston Bruins to 3 shots on goal. Unfortunately, one of those went in, so that absolutely tanks the save percentage for the Blue Jackets there. And yeah, absolutely tanks Greaves. save percentage because so few shots were on net there. So, but great job first period. Second period, Blue Jackets got 11 shots. Boston reconvened in the locker room, figured out how to make more shots happen, and came out and did that. They got 11 shots on goal that period. Still, what's crazy? I'll talk about this here in a second. Hold on. Third period, same thing. Blue Jackets had 10 shots, kept Boston down to 8, but unfortunately, one of those 8 was a goal. So that sucks because the 3 goals on 22 shots gave Greaves like an 830 something save percentage or 840. I don't know, somewhere between 830 and 840. And that's unfortunate because he did a good job overall. The last goal, though, I want to talk about that a little bit before I go into some more stats bullshit. Mark Kastelik getting that goal was one. Yeah, it was an impressive shot. Like I'll give him some credit where credit's due. Like that's a hard shot from a very hard angle. He's a right-handed shot on the left side, but the thing that made it happen, so it's crazy because Greaves was both not tall enough in this moment and not presenting himself wide enough. Even if he would have been wider, it still would have gone over his shoulder, but at least it would have been even smaller of a target. So the way he was tucked into the corner, looking at Kastelik, because I think he was on the right side. He was looking at Kastelik, and the puck came over his left shoulder, like right up over his left shoulder. And when you look at it from about the angle Kastelik was at, he had a good chunk of space there to the left of Greaves. So there could have been better pressure on Kastelik. Definitely, there could have been a man on him a little bit better. Greaves could have maybe been a little wider. I feel like if he would have stood up any more to make himself taller, it's going 5-hole. It's just that's the risk. We'll talk more about Greaves here in a little bit, because I want to go back to the stats just for a second. But power play 0 for 0. Blue Jackets didn't give up a single penalty this whole game, and they played hard. They played rough. Right. I'm amazed there's no penalty, but not even something stupid. Not even just like a little hook or a little anything. Fantastic. Love to see it. That helped out immensely. Obviously, well, helped out that they didn't get scored on more. When I talked about shots, face-offs, Blue Jackets did great in face-offs again. When they don't, that is when they absolutely get demolished. Penalty minutes. The Blue Jackets were 0 for 3 on the penalty kill. They really, really should have had one of those 3. And I believe I saw someone posting about last night was fan appreciation night, and the Blue Jackets got booed off the ice from what I've heard. And I'm pretty sure that during that power play, it also sucks. Like looking on the broadcast and seeing just the amount of black and yellow in that building, like holy shit, that's rough to watch. But I guarantee it's cheaper to fly to Columbus and get a hotel for the night and get a ticket, 2 tickets, and get full meals and everything. I bet it's cheaper to do that than it is just to go to a game in Boston. Mm-hmm. Almost can guarantee it. Yeah. That's ridiculous to me, but hope they had a good time. I guess. I mean, Nationwide's a nice arena. I can't knock it. I don't blame people for wanting to come to see games there. Between the mostly reasonable pricing for things, somewhat not with drinks, but can't blame them. Reasonable parking is one of the most reasonable things, honestly. Yeah. I think. I mean, it's expensive, but it's not like some events expensive.
Oh God, no.
It's not like $50. I guess it's like 25. I don't know. It's been a minute.
No.
But
parking's fine. It's not that bad.
Yeah, Bruins had a couple more block shots, giveaways, takeaways are about even. The Blue Jackets got swept for this series this season. Back in February, they lost to Boston 4-2 in Boston. Then they lost to Boston in Columbus in a shootout, March 29th. It was 4-3. And then last night they lost 3-2 in Columbus once again. So honestly, they played good. I think a lot of my feelings about this game and a lot of where my like, I guess, annoyance, anger is coming from is the fact that the timing of year it is, and the closeness to the playoffs and the closeness to it. It's disappointing. I feel like that's like something my dad would have said to me in like junior high. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That shit hurts worse sometimes, you know. But yeah, no, this is disappointing a little bit. It. I don't know. I'm just gonna say some more mean shit here soon. So I'm gonna pass it back over to you. Oh, real quick, let's talk about Jet Greaves. So do you have anything more about that game?
No, just it
Right.
needs to be better. It needs to be better. It needs to be better.
So I saw someone talking earlier on Instagram about how I'm not Instagram. I just clicked Instagram. No, on Twitter, about how there's 3 people that the Blue Jackets need to keep, and everyone else is expendable. And they listed Fantilli, Werenski, and Greaves. And the thing about that is, one, there's definitely, we all know there's other players that we'd love to see him keep. There's plenty of fantastic players I'd love to see him keep, obviously. But I don't think they're necessarily wrong, although Jet Greaves did great this year. I want to look at his numbers real quick. And let's compare him just directly to Elvis because they're on the same team. So games played this season, Elvis only has 30 games played. Of those, he started 39, so he's only came in one time for Greaves. 14 wins, 11 losses. So and ties plus overtime losses is 3. 95 goals against and 812 shots gives him an 883 percentage with a goals against average of 3.4. 1 shutout, so that's cool. Overall not bad numbers. Definitely not top of the league kind of like numbers, but 14 wins to 11 losses. Got a positive record. Can't complain too much about it. So then Jet Greaves has 54 games played. So that's 24 more games played than Merzlikins. And of those, he started 52. So Elvis Merzlikins has won just about half of his games started because 14 out of 29 games started. I'm just not gonna talk about ties and overtimes. I'm just not gonna talk about it right now. And then Jet Greaves has won exactly half of his starts. 26 of 52. And 7 more losses. Goals against 140, shots 1,515. Saves 1,375 for a save percentage of 908. Pretty solid. Goals against average of 2.61. Not bad. 2 shutouts this year. Absolutely sick. Almost double the minutes since he had almost double the games. So anyway, so Greaves' numbers are are pretty promising, to say the least. I feel like with some more games started, Merzlikins' stats would have been a little bit evened out a little bit more because the fewer games you play, the more skewed they're going to be. The stats are going to be on average. If you do really bad in like 3 games and you do great in 27, that's going to screw you. As opposed if you did really bad in 10 and played 60 games, it'd be a little bit different. Anyway, Jet Greaves is currently playing as the number 1 with having more games. I don't think that's an official title by any means, but we haven't had any call up for goaltender this year. Am I correct in saying that?
No, you are correct. There has been no call ups whatsoever.
That's a feat in itself.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
it's like that's beneficial because you're having guys so down there, Fedotov and whoever else is down there. You're getting actual good development down there where you don't have to worry about getting called up, and you can just stay down there and play all season long and get development. And that's just going to be way more beneficial, not just for them, but also the Blue Jackets down the road. That you didn't have to do that.
There's been very few call-ups in general. I seen a thing earlier that said that of all the teams that have gotten rookie points this season, the Columbus Blue Jackets have the fewest. Sorry, can you hear that noise above me right now? Can you hear the noise?
A little bit. It's okay.
It's very loud on my end. Sorry. I can't hear you. Oh
boy.
I'm just gonna give it a second. Sorry. Anyway, so the Blue Jackets had the fewest. Where's my phone? I'm so sorry. The Blue Jackets have the fewest points by rookies this whole season with only 1 point. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to send this text real quick. Jeez. Okay. Sorry. That was super distracting. My bad. Anyway. Fewest points by a rookie. And the only rookie this year to get a single point on the Blue Jackets, I believe, is Luca Del Bel Belez. He has 1 assist. He was called up for 14 games.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Someone else who has the same amount of points as him is Jet Greaves. Elvis Merzlikins has 2 points. He has 2 assists this year. Holy shit. That's impressive. Anyway, so is this Greaves situation, is this something that is is he a playoff? Is he a Stanley Cup winning goaltender? Stanley Cup caliber winning goaltender?
He's because he's the type of guy that shows he can get real hot and he can win you some games just because, or he makes big saves to keep you in games. And sometimes that's all you need. You need a goalie that can make a save or two, keep you in games, then you can go on a nice run. But obviously the Blue Jackets need way more than that to be in that position, but having a guy like Jet Greaves, that's a good first start to have something there. Win and get in the playoffs, and anything can happen.
That's fair. I'm just thinking like long term wise, the more the book gets out on this guy, the more time he has in the NHL, the more time that there is for video coaches and people to discover weaknesses.
Yeah.
And some goaltenders can adapt for that. Look at Sergei Bobrovsky. He was in the league for so long and still was elite.
Yeah.
Is his size going to affect this?
It kind of already is. I mean, the Blue Jackets are giving up goals because he's short. So, like, to a certain extent, it already is affecting the Blue Jackets. But I don't know how you would do that, but he's going to have to figure out a way around that. But also, to help him out, the Blue Jackets are just going to have to do a better job just playing some better defense and clear the net so he can see it. And, like, they do have some good defenseman prospects coming that are going to help with that. But, so things are going to get better in that regard. It's just we're not quite there yet. So I think it is going to get better. It's just, he's just going to have to, Jack Greaves is just going to have to find a way around that and just go with it. Because I'll be honest, like, that is something I do worry about, that if the Blue Jackets got into the playoffs, both teams do like a scouting report and say, okay, this is what they're bad at. This is what they're good at. We could go after this weakness. But we got to be careful here. And the one thing I do worry about is that if the Blue Jackets got into the playoffs, the team playing the Blue Jackets could look at it and say, okay, if they pick Jack Greaves to start, shoot high. Get guys in front of him. He can't see it. And then even if there's someone's not in front of him, shoot high. Good chance you're going to score the goal there. That does worry me a little bit. Because when you are in a 7-game series, every little thing, bad or good, gets magnified. Where it's like, okay, if you're playing the Blue Jackets, there's things that you want to try your best to avoid, which is the Blue Jackets are really good at scoring goals. They're one of the best last 2 seasons. They've been a good 5-on-5 team. So stay away from that. Make them beat you on the power play. Make them do that. There's certain things that you do to try and get around that. Don't let the Blue Jackets score 2-3 goals just like that. Because the Blue Jackets can do that. They've had games where they just turn it on just like that, and before you know it, you're up 2-3-4-0. They've had games where they score 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 goals. Like, that's the thing I would, if I'm playing the Blue Jackets, I would have to be careful with. Don't let them score goals. Because they can turn it on just like that, and before you know it, you're down 3-0, 4-0, and it's a whole different ball game then. And then on the flip side, it's like our penalty kill can be an issue at times. Oh boy, I hope no team sees that or exploits that. And yeah, Jack Greaves kind of gives up goals up high, and I worry about that a little bit. That teams have already kind of picked up on that, but like in a 7-game series, stuff good and bad get magnified times like 100 and stuff like that. Team like, okay, shoot high, and they could easily get some goals there, and that among some other things could make the difference. Where maybe you lose that series by a game or two and say, that made the difference there because penalty kill, or because, Jack Greaves gave up a goal up high or something like that. I don't want that, but you have to think about that. But on the flip side, if the Blue Jackets got into the playoffs and they won a series or two, you go like, all right, they won that because their goal scoring happened, or because of this, or because of that. You just have to consider those things.
Yeah, I get that. It's just some of those hypotheticals, I've been seeing out there online. It's going to return back to the, Renski, Fantilli, and Jack Greaves being irreplaceable. And I don't believe that they're the only 3 that you should keep. You should keep other ones, but they are the 3 you should build around, specifically Werenski and Fantilli.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the goaltender is going to be the goaltender. You can build around one, but they kind of just got to do their job. I don't know. That's a little different than like the skaters. Yeah, those are the top 2. I would argue to keep Marchenko and Coyle in there.
Yeah.
I'd have to argue that because they're the other top points earners out there in Vronkov. And I don't think there's any replacing Olivier. I haven't felt the same. Like I felt like the boys were holding back a little bit because to not like get themselves in trouble because there's, they got to answer it themselves then, or Goodbranson does, or Jenner or someone. Fantilli will gladly answer for himself. He's one of the few that out there. My time's kind of getting short here, so I want to talk about one last thing with you.
I got one thing I want to talk to you about on the show.
Okay, cool. Y'all stick around for a while then. So once again, I'm getting a lot of my questions and my stuff from things I'm just seeing on Twitter, X, whatever you have, because they're good questions. I've shared a lot of them. Go check out my profile. A lot of these things, I've reposted a lot of stuff from a lot of people. Do you think Zach Werenski would be the captain to fire the team up? Someone was saying that they doubted he could, but I really do think I think a younger Zach Werenski. No. Zach Werenski now, definitely.
Yes.
He's used to being out there. He's one of these stars of it. If not, he's like the star of the team.
Yes.
Like he's used to being in the limelight. He works amazing under pressure.
Yeah.
Just no doubt, like in the way he skated to that. Did you hear him talk about that penalty, that shootout the other day? His one skate was like loose. That's why he didn't barely move.
Oh yeah.
His like right skate was like a little bit like wobbly or whatever. So he's just like stayed on one leg mostly.
It got cut.
Yeah, the lace got cut. Yeah. So
and the thing is, he didn't even want to. He kind of looked at him funny, like, "Are you sure you want me to do this?" Like, I don't think even necessarily he wanted to do that, but okay, whatever. And I guess in the end it worked out. But it's like, man, that is pretty ballsy there to do a shootout move out on the ice with basically one skate that's only working. But anyway,
that's real. Anyway,
so
I just thought it was interesting.
All right, I do want, because you're here, because or I'm calling this. What does Hefty Duck think about this tattoo? Because Hefty Duck is a tattoo guy. That's his job. He does tattoos. So if you're in the New Philadelphia, Ohio area and you need a tattoo, go check out Hefty Duck. Go check out Hefty Duck.
Or in the Cincinnati area, hit me up because the 8th through 9th, May 8th through 9th, I will be in Cincinnati at the Cincinnati Villain Arts Tattoo Festival. It's gonna be a fun time. Check it out.
That's right.
Anyway, continue.
Hefty Duck will be in one of my favorite cities, Cincinnati. Let's go. Go Reds. But anyways. We're calling this, what does Hefty Dog think about this tattoo? Because he's a tattoo guy. And, I saw this tattoo. And I'm like, ooh, I want to get Hefty Duck's thoughts on this tattoo, Because he's a tattoo guy.
You got?
So here it is.
Fuck, that's sick. Who did this?
I saw this online somewhere. I don't remember who, but
that's really sick.
Yeah.
For me, blue is a very hard color to work with in large patches like that. That's pretty sick. I'm gonna have to find out who did that. I'll figure it out for next episode. Dude, that's sick. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think it encapsulates everything here really good. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the golden hockey sticks. That's something I've done on the Kebbies myself and whatnot. I like how they have the old logo down at the bottom as well as the new logo up top. I was about to say something about them putting green in there, but honestly, the Stinger tattoo that I did, having the green in there makes so much sense. It does. Like, it works with the other colors. So I can't knock it with a bit of a green field. So for our audio listeners, this is a Blue Jackets tattoo. It's got the newer logo, the one with the C and the star up top. It has a cannon in the middle, full color. This is all full color. The green background, and it has a kepi in the bottom, and then a puck at the very bottom with like a little like kind of striping thing. Looks like it's like scooting across the ice, maybe.
Yeah.
Hard to tell there, but this is pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm very curious as to who did this. And I'd love to see it healed out. That's some pretty solid work, solid line work. Good color packing. Pretty good, pretty even on the spokes and the wheels. Yeah. 10 out of 10. Two of my favorite things. Blue Jackets and tattoos.
The thing I like about this, it uses the Blue Jackets Civil War theme perfectly.
Yeah.
Because you have the cannon, you have the Union Army kepi, and then obviously the Blue Jackets main logo is based off of an Ohio cavalry unit flag used by the Union Army in the Civil War. So like everything about this just uses the Blue Jackets Civil War theme perfectly. And I love it. I do.
Hell yeah. Pretty all right. I like that a lot.
That's right.
Cool. You got any other design stuff this week?
Yes. It's not a tattoo, but it's kind of being creative with what you have. So
Yeah.
I'll show it to you, and then you can tell me your thoughts. So, okay. Again, I don't know who did this, but someone who has a prosthetic leg turned their prosthetic leg into basically like a Blue Jackets themed prosthetic leg.
That's pretty sick. I'm curious how they did this. This almost looks like hydro dipping. No. I'm really curious. And they got it signed. I wonder whose signature that is. It's a big B.
Yeah.
There's a number. Oh, there's a 17 there. Shit. I'm
Brandon Dubinsky.
Doobie. 17. Because otherwise, the modern 17 is Mason Marshman.
Yeah.
And that's not an M.
No.
Pretty cool. This is pretty sick. I love it. Is it licensed? You're getting sued if not. I'm kidding. The Blue Jackets are really, really actually nice about a lot of those things where it's like he's not making money off that. He probably just printed it himself or something. That's pretty sick. I wonder if he's part of the sled hockey team. He or she, I suppose.
Yeah. Maybe.
Number one team.
I think I may have something
sick
stuff on here. Maybe. Oh yeah. Okay. So I just had this logo idea for call it the ultimate Blue Jackets themed logo. And I said, what if you had a Union soldier holding the state flag of Ohio and there was a cannon on it? And then someone came, and then I hope Cincy wins on Twitter sent this to me, and it is awesome. And I just think this makes my idea perfect. It's just great. I love this Union soldier holding the state flag of Ohio with a cannon, and the colors I like, the dark blue, the light blue, a little red there. I just love it. It just uses the Blue Jackets Civil War theme perfectly. So your thoughts on this, Hefty Duck?
I like this one. a lot. The color scheme on this is once again very well, and this is one of the things that like separates someone's real art from like AI art. And even on something like this, like I can tell because we're going to look really closely at a few things. The buttons mainly are going to be one thing. Everything has got a crisp, clean edge on it. The wheels are even and matched. That's huge. The cannon, everything looks to be like pretty much handmade here and well thought out. And you can tell. I have only one criticism of this at all, and this is more of a tattoo design thing too, because on paper you can do a lot more things on paper than you can on skin because of the way that things heal out. And I would put just a little bit more of a highlight around the edge of the wheels between the blue and the lighter gray or light blue, the cool gray down there, just to help differentiate them, or just move the Columbus Blue Jackets name up a little bit. It's my only criticism. And like I said, that's kind of more of a tattoo thing, making sure that like something dark you can see better against a dark background with something lighter, because tattoos age and whatnot. But yeah, this is pretty sick, dude. Shout outs to I hope Cincy wins on Twitter.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I have anything else on? No, I think that. Oh, you know what?
Mic check.
We'll check this.
Okay, I bumped it. I was making sure I didn't go all squirrely and weird.
Oh boy.
It's
You
been a
know
while
what?
since
I saw this on Reddit, and I think this is cool. Someone posted this on Reddit where they did like a little art of like downtown Columbus, the arena district. And this is just like a perfect representation of downtown Columbus because it's everything about it. It's like there's the crew, there's the Clippers, and and then there's the Blue Jackets. And you have like, look, there, I don't know if you can see right there, but there's a Union soldier right there with a hockey stick. I just love this. This is cool art of like what downtown Columbus looks like.
That's cool. I like the interpretation on this too a lot. I like the illustrativeness of it. It makes it feel like old.
Yeah.
Not as in like ancient, more as in like something like you'd see something more like this out of like, I don't know, maybe like the before helicopters and drones were photography were a thing.
Right.
You'd probably see stuff like this. That's pretty cool though. It's got the baseball field and it's got the soccer field going down there. It's got all the businesses and parking garages and hotels around. Got good old Nationwide right there where Kevin's mousing over. Got the what do they call it next to it? The ice house? Is that what they call it?
Yeah. So nation right there.
Yeah, nice little place out front. I like that. I like the little mascots up there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they got the Fury down there too.
Yeah.
And even marks the Scioto. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I took a walk along the Scioto the other week. It was really nice. Pretty darn cool. I'll give this one. I'll give this one a rating. I got
So
once again, this looks like it's got to be hand done.
yeah.
There's too much good detail and small things that are in perfect places. So for that, 10 out of 10. Cool fucking illustration.
That's
of
right.
one of my favorite places.
That's right. So next up, the Blue Jackets posted pictures of the game from Detroit, and here we have Adam Fantilli after he scored the goal to tie it, and it's just a great picture.
That's pretty awesome. That'd be a sick meme. Look, I love all the people behind him too. All the reactions from Detroit. There's also people that so the range of emotion is on display behind him. You have the one dude like another dude, Oh, dude, come on.
Yeah.
And you got a lady behind him, like yelling, like fan up here, people with their hands on their heads, guy going like this. Guy on the left side, he's like, this is a cool game. I'm just here. That lady screaming up top, though. Everyone with their hands on their heads, the kids with their heads. Oh. And then Adam Fantilli, just biggest smile on him that you could possibly have. That's hilarious. We very rarely do this, but I have some breaking news that just came across my phone. Blue Jackets signed Boston Buckberger. What a hell of a hockey name. He's from Denver. They just won the 2-year entry level contract. He's a defenseman.
Yeah.
He's 22 years old. And they just won the 2026 NCAA championship.
Yeah,
his name is Boston Buckberger. Holy shit. That is a hockey name if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
It's like Cutter Gauthier. What other sport could a guy named Cutter Gauthier play?
Yeah.
Or Boston Buckberger. Maybe baseball. No. No, it's definitely got to be hockey names.
Yeah.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan native. Yeah. Well, there's that. Slightly breaking news that broke like over half hour ago.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, but there's one picture.
Pretty sick.
Zach Werenski after he scored the game-winning goal in the shootout.
Nice. Once again, the level of disgust and on these fans' faces behind him. The one guy on the top right, he's laughing. He's like, "Well, I just won my bet." He's the guy in the front right. He's got to have been like a fan for like a long ass time. He just looks disappointed.
Yeah,
he's just seen them absolutely miss it for the only chance they've had in a decade. Yeah. Not only chance, but like closest chance they've had in a decade.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I know those feelings, guys. I'm saying it's a funny photo. I'm not making fun of you. Yeah. It's a funny part of the photo, but I understand. I've been there. Fuck this year.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, Detroit, your third jersey you've been wearing for your 100th season is awesome. It has a classic, iconic, old school look, and that should be your new third jersey. That's just me. You should have your new third jersey is wear that. And also, I'm of the opinion that you should have worn something like that in the outdoor game against the Blue Jackets, because that would have been a way better jersey matchup if you wore something like that compared to what you wore at the Blue Jackets outdoor game with Cannon jersey. That's just me, though. I think that would have been a better jersey matchup.
Yeah, that's cool.
But anyways, all right, next picture. Here we have celebrating after the game, everyone giving Zach Werenski a nice big hug.
That's pretty cool. Sorry, I got distracted for something real quick. This brings up, I see Connor Garland in here. What a good addition he's been, too.
All right.
Absolutely came in, just did his job, everything expecting, does exactly what is expected.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Let's see here. We got
pretty cool photo.
Denton Heinen after he scored the goal.
Nice.
So
Heinen's been pretty solid too.
Yep.
Pretty solid.
That's right. So there's that. I'm gonna post. Where is it? I got this I want to share. I just like it when Ohio sports teams support each other. So
that's so cool.
This picture is from 2017 when Zach Werenski threw the first pitch at a Reds game, and here we have Suarez, Eugenio Suarez for the Reds with the Blue Jackets jersey, and Zach Werenski in a Reds jersey, showing support for each other. So I just like it when Ohio sports teams show support for each other. In this case, it's Blue Jackets and Reds showing support for each other.
That's pretty cool. I love to see it. Yeah, I remember last year, Damon Severson threw out one of the first pitches at the Guardians games.
Yeah,
Pretty cool. Which
Yeah.
they're up 4-1 right now on top of the fifth. I multitask pretty well. I bet none of you realized I was watching this game the whole time.
No.
Shit, y'all.
So,
All right, man. Well, I gotta get some dinner and do some stuff before I go to bed and whatnot. So,
yeah. So,
great podcast, man. Always a treat. Yeah, one last time, check me out. Check me out on Instagram. I'm at Lance Schrock Tattoos. I just posted a link to my link tree on my Twitter. I'm just at Lance_Schrock there. Schrock is spelled below here, SCHROCK. It's a little different. Yeah, I shared a post too. Check me out. I'm gonna be in Cincinnati for the weekend tattooing. If you want some ink, want some good Blue Jackets tattoos, hit me up. I'll be a little bit closer than I am here normally. I think I'll be about an hour, about like a half hour closer to Columbus than I will be normally, where I normally tattoo out of. But I know some of you guys watch from Cincinnati, and I know that there's a couple friends of ours down there as well that might be interested. So hit me up. I will see you then.
yes.
Other than that, I will be back here next week, same time, same place. There's one last game we got to talk about, and
Hopefully more.
What? Oh yeah, hopefully. Yeah, shit. Hopefully more. That's a big hopefully. That's a big ask. But that's a good point, Kevin. Hopefully more. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how this next week goes, man. Either we're gonna be talking about playoff stuff or report cards.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's report card stuff. Or
No.
hopefully it's not the report card stuff. God. All right. Just because I'm fumbling my stuff, I'm gonna make sure I got the right button. Leave.
Just hit the right button. Hit that right button. You better hit that right button.
Have a good one,
Don't screw
Kevin.
this up. You better hit that right button. You better hit that right button. You better hit that right button. Okay, he hit the right button. That's good, because there's one time he did not hit the right button and Hefty Duck ended the show, and I didn't want that because I still had some stuff to say. But he, hit the wrong button. But this time, he did not hit the wrong button. So that's cool. So I got some stuff to share, and then I'm going to get out of here. Calling this closing time. Just like that song. Closing time. One last thing to say. Anyways, first things first. Zach Werenski has made hockey history. He is only one of 3 defensemen that are born in America that have had consecutive seasons where he's had at least 80 points. Zach Werenski draw. So that's pretty cool. Only 3 defensemen have been able to say that they are American born and they've had at least 2 seasons of 80-point seasons. And there's still at least one more game to go where Zach Werenski could add on to that. So shout out to you, Zach Werenski, for making hockey history, being one of only 3 defensemen that are American born that have had at least 2 seasons of 80-point seasons. And he still could get more. So, next up, I'm going to put this one up on the screen. So, we all know that Brian Giesenslaw is Blue Jackets guy, Reds guy, does TV for the Blue Jackets, does TV for the Reds. And recently, I saw a video on Twitter that I'm going to show is we have a Brian Giesenslaw look-alike. And I'm going to put this up on the screen. So we have the new coach for the Minnesota Golden Gophers hockey team. And when I saw this video, he legit looks like Brian Giesenslaw. He doesn't sound like him, but he legit looks like Brian Giesenslaw. And when I saw that, I'm like, well, that's interesting. So Brett Larson is his name. Brett Larson is the new coach for the Minnesota Golden Gophers hockey team for the men. And when I saw that, he looks like Brian Giesenslaw, who's the TV guy for both the Reds and the Blue Jackets. So, I mean, just saying, look at that. That's a look-alike. That looks like Brian Giesenslaw. So that's just me. Look at that. Look at this. Brian Giesenslaw look-alike. That's pretty cool. So I think that's interesting. But anyways, let's see here. What else? Yes. Of course, have to share this new awesome Adam Fantilli GIF that you can use on Twitter. All you have to do is in the search, when you hit the GIF button on Twitter, you type in the search bar Adam Fantilli, and you get this awesome GIF right here. Of course, this is the celebration of Adam Fantilli right after he scored the big goal against Detroit to tie it. So this is a cool GIF, and I had to share it. So there's that. Let's see here. Well, two more things to share. Two more things to share. Let's see here. Okay. Of course, this was the news to when the Blue Jackets got the new Michigan guy, Josh Ernest, and the comment is no offense, but sign a Buckeye next time. He's getting laughed on pretty good and got downvoted because I'm just sorry. That is a stupid, idiotic comment. It just is. It just is. No. Like, yes, the Blue Jackets have had some Ohio State guys, and some of them have been good, but, like, no. The Blue Jackets are not going to go out of their way, generally speaking, to go get an Ohio State guy when Ohio State's proven time and time again, generally speaking, that they don't produce top guys. You want top guys, you go to a Wisconsin, a Boston College, a Minnesota, or a Michigan. So, no. Stupid comment. And even if you're joking, stupid comment. And here we have the people, of course, this is off of the Blue Jackets Facebook page. And here we have people correctly calling them out. Get a program that recruits talented players next time. They got to be good first. LOL, what? Well, one team went to the Frozen Four and the other didn't. So there's that. So, yeah, calling out like, no, there's a reason why the Blue Jackets are getting Michigan guys and not Ohio State guys. So there's that. And to go along with that, we have Jonathan Wells, who was a Ohio State football player years ago. And he made this, he shared this post that like when Michigan, they get to the Frozen Four and like it's something ridiculously bad. Like I'm going to look this up on my phone because I have the screenshot of this. Let's see here. Where is it? Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the last 9. So the Frozen Four, the last 9 times they've been in the Frozen Four, they've gone 1-8. And here we have Jonathan Wells, a football player at Ohio State. Again, I get it. You don't like Michigan, so you want to make fun of them. But I said, oh, better luck next time, TTUN or Michigan. And it's like, dude, like, shut up and sit this one out. I'm sorry. You have no room to talk. Okay? You're an Ohio State guy. I get it. You don't like Michigan. You want to take shots at Michigan. You want to make fun of Michigan. I get that. I've done that too. But at the same time, dude, shut up. Sit this one out. You have no room to talk. Stay in your lane and know that when it comes to football, you can talk all you want. Talk your shit. Talk your, do your trash talk because you can do it. Because Ohio State is ridiculously good at football year in, year out. But when it comes to sports, that's not football. Shh. Shh. Quiet. Quiet. Shut up. Sit this one out. It's not for you. You have no room to talk. When it comes to hockey, you have no room to talk. Shh. Shh. Shut up. Shut up. Sit this one out. Be a little educated here. You have no room to talk. Michigan is consistently good at hockey. They have national championships. They have Big Ten championships. They have NCAA tournament appearances. They have Frozen Four appearances. Hobie Baker Award winners. Most recently, Adam Fantilli. That is the Heisman Trophy of college hockey. They produce ridiculously good top talent again and again and again. The Blue Jackets are no different in terms of they benefit from being from Michigan being good at hockey. That's what I mean by that. So that's not Ohio State. So you have no room to talk about that. You just need to settle down and sit this one out. If it's football, talk all you want because you earn it. Any other sport, especially hockey, no. You need to settle down, shut up, and sit this one out. Not for you. That's what you need to do. Because when you read the comments, a lot of people mostly are Michigan fans, but even some people that weren't Michigan fans were like calling them out like, dude, like, sit this one out. Like, hey, how did Ohio State do? Hey, where's your Big Ten championships? Where's your Frozen Four appearances consistently? Where's your national championships? Oh, wait, you don't have that. At best, the best thing Ohio State has done was they went on a run to the Frozen Four in 2018. They haven't got, they won the Big Ten regular season in 2019. But other than that, okay, Big Ten championship game, but you lose. But it's like the best you ever done was that run to the Frozen Four. That's it. Just settle down. Settle down. No room to talk. It would almost be like if a Rutgers fan came up to you and started talking crap in football, and you would look at that dude funny, like, dude, what are you doing? You're Rutgers, you're trash talking me? Like, no, sit this one out. You have nothing. It's that same exact concept when it comes to hockey. For Michigan and Ohio State, you need to sit this one out. No room to talk. Just stop. Even I, as a Blue Jackets fan, we're just kind of just there. Some good, some bad. But when it comes to most teams, we really don't have a lot of room to talk. So I would, generally speaking, never trash talk because I know my place. That's where you should know your place, Jonathan Wells. Know your place. And your place is, when it comes to Ohio State sports, you can talk all you want about football because you've earned it. Ohio State is consistently good at football. But when it comes to sports, and that's not football, especially hockey, shh. You need to sit down, settle down, shut up, and sit this one out. You have no room to talk. And that's the truth. So that's all I have to say about that. Let's see here. Do I have anything else to share? Do I have anything else to share? No. Yeah, what the hell? I'll put this up and that'll be it. So I like this. This is Brutus wearing a Blue Jackets jersey. So again, like we showed the picture of the Reds and the Blue Jackets showing support for each other. Here's another picture that I like. It's Brutus, Ohio State's mascot, showing support for the Blue Jackets. So I like this. I like it when Ohio sports show support for each other. So here we have a picture of Brutus showing support for the Blue Jackets. And I like this. So looking good, Brutus. Blue is definitely your color. You look awesome with that Blue Jackets jersey on you. You look good wearing it. Looking good, Brutus. CBJ, CBJ, CBJ. Okay. You know what? I'm going to say my final things, and then I'm going to get out of here. Not going to do a show that was over 3 hours. That was last week, and that was fun and everything. But oh God! But no. Not going to do. Not going to do that again. Not going to do that again. Not going to do that again. That was fun, but once in a lifetime thing. We're not going to do that again. So we're going to stop it right about now, just over 2 hours. So, anyways. So, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please tell your family. Please tell your friends. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, our next show will be let's see here. The next show, as of right now, that, things could be different, If the Blue Jackets make the playoffs, this may be on a different day because the Blue Jackets might play on this day if the Blue Jackets make the playoffs. So it might be different. But in the event that the Blue Jackets don't make the playoffs, or if they make the playoffs and they don't play on this day, the next show will be on Monday, April 20th, 2026, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube and Twitter. So again, one more time, it's going to be Monday, April 20th, 2026, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, unless the Blue Jackets make the playoffs and they play on that day. Then it'll be a different day. So, yeah. But as of right now, if the Blue Jackets don't make the playoffs, or if they do make the playoffs but they don't play on that day, the next show will be Monday, April 20th, 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So, we'll see you then. And as always, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc, a good guy, the life of the party. Always love seeing you at family get-togethers and birthday parties and holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter and so much more. Now, you're a big baseball guy, and the Cubs were your favorite team, and I just love talking sports with you and just wondering how you think the Cubs are doing right now. And I could talk to you and get your thoughts on how you think the Cubs are doing. And, I'm a big Reds guy myself, so I could tell you my thoughts on how I think the Reds are doing right now. And you're also a big hockey guy. And the Blackhawks were your favorite team, but the Blue Jackets became your second favorite team. And I wish that you were still here so I could talk some hockey with you and just get your thoughts on how you think the Blackhawks are doing so far this season. And I could tell you my thoughts on how I think the Blue Jackets are doing so far this season. So, shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Thank you for everything. So, last thing for me. Don't forget to check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I run. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. So that's it for me and Hefty Duck. Thank you for watching the show, and check out Union Blue Soldiers. All right. Bye now.